Now this is what you call peace and quiet, away from the stress, the noise, the smell, the humidity of the city. Today I'm really happy to be in Miura in the Kanagawa prefecture, roughly 2 hours south of Tokyo. More specifically, I've come to Jogashima, a fairly large island off the south coast of the town. So today I'm going to take it easy, look around and see exactly what this island has to offer. When you first come to Jogashima, it all looks fairly normal. It's lush, it's green, there's tons of trees, and you'd be forgiven for thinking that there was just soil underneath your feet. But as you come down to the seafront here, it becomes quickly apparent that the ground is actually made of volcanic rock. Here it's demonstrated very nicely. The ground closest to me here is quite dry, it's pale grey, and as we move out towards the sea, it's wetter and turns into a rich black. So I'm not quite sure what I've stumbled upon here, but below me you might be able to see a god-awful bright pink pool of ooze. I'm not sure what's going on here. When I approached, there was like 3 or 4 small little crabs bathing on the edge of the pool, and when they heard me coming, they all kind of scurried under the water. So I don't know how many crabs are in here, and my best guess is that the pink colour is perhaps a byproduct of whatever the crabs are up to in their breeding, perhaps. Either that, or it's some kind of like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ooze. So I better get out of here before a 400-foot crab comes out of this pool and takes my head off. If you look out into the horizon from the south of Jogashima, you'll see another fairly large landmass. This is Oshima, the biggest of Tokyo's outlying islands. In the centre of the island is Mount Mihara, a still active volcano which last erupted in 1990. The volcano is perhaps more famously known as the fiery tomb of Godzilla, who was trapped there in the 1984 sci-fi classic The Return of Godzilla. I feel like anyone with arachnophobia might want to avoid this place. I keep seeing these yellow spiders kind of everywhere, and they're pretty massive, so I'd imagine that anyone who doesn't like spiders is going to be pretty terrified of them. And as I'm walking down this path now, it's really hard to see because the camera can't really focus on me and the spiders at the same time. But there's a lot of them, they're just streamed across the path, and all of their webs are kind of like this height, so maybe like my head level. So yeah, you might have to do a little bit of ducking. Sorry. If 8-legged monsters aren't quite your flavour, don't worry. The island is also home to a surprising number of cats. As you might expect, island life is pretty lazy, but judging by the plumpness of these guys, I get the impression that they are not wild and probably have proper homes here too. At the very least, they're well kept by the island's human inhabitants. Dotted around the island are a few of these observation platforms where you can look out over at the sea, you can look out over at the rest of the island, but perhaps more interestingly, because it's so eerily quiet today, this park down here is absolutely empty. But if you look up, there appears to be what I can only describe as a falcon battle arena. Now I'm not sure exactly what species of bird these are, but they seem to be playing a game of catch the stick. And moments ago I missed just an absolutely amazing opportunity to film one of the most glorious events that's ever happened in all of nature. One of the falcons had the stick, he was flying, tackled by another falcon mid-air, and then 5 of the birds just dive bombed to the ground at the same time to catch the stick before it hit the ground. One of them, surprisingly the smallest, was the victor. Yeah, which wasn't something I was expecting to see today. So this cigarette burn was probably where you're supposed to be able to see Mount Fuji, but at the moment it's a bit cloudy. Amagi Kogen and the Izu Peninsula, so it's kind of similar to the Kanagawa Peninsula, but just a bit further over to the west here. Looking north, you should be able to see Mount Takeyama, which is quite a famous kind of day trip mountain from Tokyo. Also Mount Iwadayama, which is actually in the middle of the town here in Miura. It's not very big actually, but it's just more of a slope. Here the Bozo Peninsula, which is kind of like the other side of Tokyo, and basically yeah, just some smaller landmarks from the city here. As I mentioned earlier, Oshima here, but it's actually started to disappear behind the clouds again now. Behind me is one of this island's most popular landmarks, Umanose Domon. Interestingly, it used to be almost completely submerged in water, but because this coastline sits almost exactly on top of the epicenter of the Great Kanto earthquake, on September 1st, 1923, the force of the earthquake pushed the land in this area almost 10 meters higher above sea level. It's like I've stumbled onto a vegetable patch here. Strange. There apparently is people living on this island, but this particular location doesn't seem to be inhabited. But these plants have definitely been planted by someone. I feel like I'm in like The Walking Dead, and I've just stumbled out of the tall bushes, and I've kind of stumbled onto an enemy encampment. So I'm gonna have to go back and report it to my team. So I'm just walking up to finish up the day now to check out Jogashima lighthouse, and it's 550 meters to go. When I started back at the other beach, it was about 1200 meters, so I walked about halfway, but at 700 meters I stopped to check out Umanose Domon. So had a little break there, but now I'm back on the trail, and I've been walking around this island for nearly 8 hours now. I'm absolutely exhausted. It's a bit weird actually, because when I came here this morning I was expecting like loads of people to have arrived. It seems like kind of a good morning place, especially if you live in Miura, so to kind of come, walk the dog, just have a nice leisurely stroll. But it wasn't until about 1 or 2 o'clock that I actually started seeing people. And now, weirdly enough, the sun is about to set in about half an hour, and I'm seeing more people than I did all day. I don't know if you probably can't see, like all the way down there on the rocks, there's about 6 people still sitting there. So yeah, I don't know what they're really waiting to do. I hope they move soon, because I can't imagine it's probably very safe down there. But I have heard that the coastline that I'm going to now, the one that faces west, is a very famous spot to see the sunset over Mount Fuji. However, the clouds today have been less than favourable. Had a small midday break, got some good clear footage, but unfortunately it's been pretty cloudy all day. But on the flip side, I'm grateful for that, because I've been walking a lot, and I think I'd be a lot more sweaty than I am right now had it not been for the clouds saving me from the burning sun. So yeah, we'll see how many people are actually down by the lighthouse, because that apparently is the spot. Unfortunately, on this particular day, the weather wasn't offering much else besides clouds with a side portion of grey. Having spent the entire day exploring the island, there was just one place still on my checklist left to visit: Jogashima Lighthouse. This is Jogashima Lighthouse. So this lighthouse was actually designed roughly 150 years ago, and the construction was finished in 1870. It was designed by a French guy called Léonce Verny, and was one of 8 lighthouses commissioned during the Meiji period under the order of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Amity and Commerce. This is actually the second iteration of this lighthouse. The first one was actually another victim in the Great Kanto earthquake and was completely destroyed. If you'd like to visit Jogashima, it can easily be accessed via public transport and is roughly a 2-hour train ride from central Tokyo, costing around 2,500 yen for a round trip. If you enjoyed this episode, then please subscribe to Kantan Japan for future content, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.